Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Pete Reyna, and welcome to Motivating Your Mondays, episode 5, where every single week we're going to be bringing you some amazing words of wisdom, thoughts, messages, quotes, um, affirmations, all in an effort to empower you to be able to take on the rest of your week. As every single week, actually, you know what? We're here live and on scene at Cafe Commerce. So, literally, live, mistakes and all. Cafe Commerce here, downtown San Antonio. It is a kind of gloomy day, so let's try to liven things up as best as I can. I want to say thank you very much to all of our uniformed men and women in the armed services. Thank you very much, because without you, I wouldn't be able to do what I do, to be able to live freely. I want to say thank you for all the sacrifices that you have given. I say thank you very much. On last week's episode of Motivating Your Mondays, we talked about taking action, right? So if you wanted to improve your life, you had to take action, whatever that was. One of the things that I want to start doing is reaching out to each and every one of you to say, look, whatever it was that the MYM empowered you to do, comment on it. So last week's MYM was taking action. Want to improve your life? Take action. Go to the bottom in the comment feed and let me know what you took action on. I want to be able to have conversations with you to say, continue to motivate you, continue to bring you back to the MYMs, to continue to empower you to be able to take act, to continue to improve on whatever it is that you're taking action on in the first place. So with that, I want to say, here is this week's Motivating Your Mondays message. As always, a glitch, tech. Uh, Stop making things complicated. Stop questioning your ability. Start trusting yourself. Another one by Darren Hardy. There are so many things that we do in our worlds, right? There's so many, like just a lot of variables, a lot of things that happen. And along the way, we complicate just about everything that we do. So then once we overcomplicate it, we then question our abilities to be able to tackle whatever it is that we're trying to do in the first place. So one of the things that I really want you to start doing is start trusting that you have the ability. Now, maybe you don't have the skill set, right? Or maybe you're not good enough to tackle whatever it is that you need to tackle. There's always the opportunity to outsource that to somebody else. There's always somebody out there. You just got to go out and find the individuals, develop the partnerships, build the relationships to all those individuals that have the ability to be able to pick up where you left off. So if you stop focusing on what's complicated and start focusing on your abilities, then you have the opportunity to be able to do and tackle all the other things that you need to do. But first and foremost, you have to start trusting in yourself. Now, every single week, we move from this section into our coffee shop combo. So here's what's going to end up happening. At the request of my interviewee, we wanted him to come live, and he wanted to be live, right? He was excited about being live with me. So I'm going to introduce to you here Mr. Shaz Mahmud. He is with Zaviya Solutions Group and Z Cloud Nova, and we're going to have him explain a little bit about what that is, or both those, or combine it, whatever. He has a story about it, we'll let him do it. But we're going to talk to him about what this quote means to him. Shaz, man, thanks a lot for being on the show. Truly appreciate it. I know we had a conversation over. We did have a coffee shop combo, though. We were out at
Yes, you did.
Rosella Coffee Shop, and that was actually a pretty good conversation, man.
It was.
I think it was one of those conversations where I more appreciated the combo than trying to get like what the quote meant.
Hmm.
I think I'm going to start doing that. Carl, I'm going to start bringing everybody on live just to upset you.
We did not want to upset Carlos.
No, because he just unplugged it right now. Boop, close it down. So
Exactly.
Shaz, man, we're going to get to what Zaviya is and what Z Cloud Nova is.
Hmm.
But when we were having that conversation the other day, you said that when I sent this to you,
Hmm.
you had kind of encountered something like this, or you
Right.
were utilizing something like that in the past?
Right. In the past life, I was a corporate trainer, right?
Past
So corporate trainers, you're lucky if you can get about 40% of the people to understand what you're doing, and if 20% actually retain it. But there's a saying that we have over there, and it says, um, complexity is for beginners, and simplicity is for experts. So simplicity is the end goal. You want whatever process that you're doing, whatever training that you're doing, whatever you're pretty much trying to tackle in life, being able to simplify it is the end goal.
Yeah.
Now, of course, you don't want to take something that is already pretty much simplified and oversimplified and lose value. But if you have a complicated task, if you have a complicated goal, take some pieces out, simplify those, bring it all together, make sure that it integrates. And then it's just second nature.
But it comes with time, right?
It does.
It does
It
come with
does.
time, and that's some of the MYMs in the past, right? From the last 4 episodes, it kind of tackles these MYMs leapfrog from one to the next.
Right.
And the last one was taking action, and the other one was the fear of failure.
Hmm.
So, and then one of them was the season of failure, actually.
Right.
And that's kind of what you're talking about, right? So it's complicated, but you have to go through that before you even learn the simplification process.
Exactly.
Because without that, like if you don't beat your head against the wall,
There's
if
that.
if nothing slaps you in the face along the way, then you're never going to really learn how to simplify processes. Now, it's not a matter of just simplifying the process. This is what you said. Simplifying the process without losing the value.
Correct.
But
And yeah, I mean, value is the most important part in there, right? I mean, if you do something, if you accomplish something, but that has zero value in your life or zero value to your process, to your business, then you may have well just wasted your time, right? So the value of it is, hey, I went through this, I went through all the difficulties that came with it, I tackled them, and at the end of the day, now I have this product, this process that is simplified. But since I've gone through the complications of it, I know if something breaks, what do I need to do? Right? I mean, and that is the main value portion of it is if something does not go according to plan, since I've gone through the broken process, I know how to fix it.
you know how to fix it. Now, the trusting yourself part of this particular quote, how would you apply that trusting yourself part, not just to this quote, but even to what, like the way you had learned it and while you were going through in your past life?
Well, you have to. I mean, if you're going to keep on questioning yourself and questioning your abilities, then you're not going to get anywhere. It is what it is. You got to have trust. You got to have trust. Hey, you know what? There's actually, when we look at things, at least, from a business standpoint, like, for you to accomplish anything, you got to have a few things. You got to have the talent for it. That's where your passion is going to come
Oh
from.
yeah.
That is where you're going to know that, hey, you know what? I am good at this thing. I can accomplish it. Then second thing is you got to get the right tools, right? I mean, you can be as passionate and as talented as you want, but if you don't have the right tools, then you're just going to have to fight 2 times, 3 times harder.
Yeah.
Get the right tools. And last, be tenacious about it. Don't give up.
You do, yeah, you do.
No,
And
just don't give up.
that just goes to all the other MYMs, right? You just got to keep fighting through it. One of the things that I often talk about is keep moving forward. Right? Hashtag KMF, hashtag keep moving forward. That's just my mantra. So regardless of what it is that beats me down, that's what I do.
Right.
So that's Shaz's perspective on what this week's MYM has not maybe this one, but specifically like the one that he had in his past life. And it follows through, but he kind of went through all the complicated processes. He understands and trusts himself. He knows his abilities. And just like you have to be tenacious in your moving forward efforts. If not, you're not going to get anywhere. So just you got to continually trust in yourself. And for whatever reason, if you don't feel like you have the ability, don't sit there and say you don't really have the ability. Find someone who can help you in that regard, right? And in that, I want to segue into what is Zaviya and what is zCloud Nova. You said a little while ago like you have the right tools, right?
Right.
I think that works in the business world in the sense where you do literally have to have the right tools in place, and I think you guys offer pretty good tools for small businesses out there, right?
Right. I mean, we have client base all the way from SMB all the way up to enterprise class. But, coming back to Zaviya Solutions Group, our philosophy is that we basically take your IT headaches away. So it doesn't matter if you're an enterprise with 50,000 users or if you're an entrepreneur or a SMB with 1 to 5 users. At the end of the day, when technology comes into play, it takes some of the human factor off. And that can either be a good thing or it can be a bad thing. It can be a good thing that you have other things that you can pay attention to focus on. It can be a bad thing because it comes with its own set of headaches. And what we do is that we take a complicated process and then we simplify it. So complicated for a hacker to hack into your system, but
Yeah.
simple enough that you as a user are not banging your head against that IT wall, right? I mean, you talk to people and they're like, you know what? Oh, you're IT. Oh man, I'm sorry for you. And my response mostly is, I'm not.
Yeah.
I love doing what I do. I've been in IT since '91.
Yeah.
I've seen things evolve. Browsers that used to take 5 minutes to load, and we had those 5 minutes for that Yahoo browser to load back, when it was
Oh man.
dial-up.
Yeah.
And now if it takes more than 20 seconds, you're like, whoa, this is slow.
Yeah.
So, I mean, when you go through the transformation process, you can appreciate some of the things. And also, now we have access to multiple tools. We've used multiple tools in that trade. We know what works, what does not work,
Mm-hmm.
and not just that, what works for a specific client. If I can go in and deploy the best of the solutions, bring in Cisco, bring in Dell, bring in HP, and build you a system that's going to do pretty much anything and everything. But if I load Apple iOS on it and you're a Windows person,
Yeah.
well, I just wasted all that time and energy and money giving you something you do not need.
Yeah.
So that is what we do. I mean, we do anywhere from IT security, cybersecurity is a big thing right now. Ransomware is just going around.
Oh yeah.
I was at a conference a couple years ago, and there was a assistant director from FBI. She was actually in charge of making the cyber defense program for FBI back in the day. And she came in and said, you know what? Most of the businesses that we have right now, especially on the SMB side, I would say majority, up to 70%, have already been hacked and they don't know it.
Yeah.
I mean, either they know it or they don't know it. There's nothing like, hey, no, I was never hacked. You were hacked.
You were
They
hacked.
implanted something. They actually figured out your growth plan and were like, we're gonna come back in 6 months when you actually have more
When
money
they
in your
saw
account.
it, they
And,
saw it transitioning.
yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, it is a multi-billion-dollar industry.
Man, I'm gonna be
So,
pretty upset if you guys didn't hack me and then tell me that I was gonna be successful at least at some point. And let me get to that point and then go, woo.
exactly, exactly.
So, Shaz, I want to say thanks a lot, man. We're gonna
Anytime.
put Shaz's information up, which is via Solutions Group, right?
Correct.
And Z Cloud Nova.
Hmm.
And if you need any of his assistance, we're gonna put his information in the comment stream, and then we're gonna promote his business in appreciation for the time that you spent with us
Anytime.
here on
Thanks for having me.
Motivating Your Monday.
Appreciate
So
it.
thanks a lot.
Have a
So
good
I
one.
want to say thanks to Shaz for being here. Now, you heard from him in a past life where you have to be able to, you and the other MYMs we talked about, you kind of have to run into those walls in order for you to learn that season of failure. But then you have to take the action, right, while you're beating your head through those walls. And then at some point, you're going to be able to simplify the process. So don't overcomplicate everything for yourself. Trust in your abilities and trust in yourself. Again, if you don't have those abilities, find somebody, find a partner, build relationships with individuals who can help you along the way. So now, where can we find Motivating Your Mondays? Here, Live and On Scene. You can find it on Facebook at Live and On Scene. You can go to facebook.com/Motivating Your Mondays. Every single week, these MYMs are here to be able to provide you with a positive mindset. So even if the Motivating Your Mondays message this week doesn't necessarily relate to whatever's happening along your week, revert back to this MYM anyway, because what I wanted to do is to be able to provide you with that positive mindset so that you can tackle any obstacle that comes your way. Now, um, glitch again. No, this one's internal myself. So, what kind of show is coming up next? For those of you who watch it regularly, it is going to be Mike and Matt with sabusinesscalendar.com. It's a great show. There's a lot of great events that they're going to be sharing with you. So, what you want to be able to do is watch this and then watch that show coming on next. As always, the application of education equals knowledge. If you don't apply anything that you've learned, you're never going to be able to actually get the experiential knowledge from all the stuff that we've been talking about. So the application of education equals knowledge. I want you to apply it. I want you to apply it to your world, and then I want you to live it. So, as a matter of fact, I want to plug Rosella Coffee. So that's where I had that coffee shop combo with Shaz. So I want to say thanks a lot to Rosella Coffee for that. I want to say thanks a lot to Live and On Scene, Mr. Carlo Rodriguez, who's behind the scene. Wave, Carlo. I'm trying to pep him up right now. He's a little focused on his job. And then So yeah, thanks a lot to Rosella Coffee Shop. Thanks a lot to Cafe Commerce. Thanks a lot to Live and On Scene. And with that, I want to say, as always, KMF, keep moving forward.